What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. Tonight I'm going to be talking about another Christmas flick here, coming up to Christmas here in less than a week. So definitely been binge watching those recently and wanted to talk about a lot of the classics. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the film from 1942, Holiday Inn, starring Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby. So the film was put out in 1942. That was the early part of World War II. A lot of filmmakers in this time were, trying to get the Americans' attention off of the war and putting out films like this, Christmas films, feel-good movies, to make you take your mind off of everything that was going on in the world. Mark Sandrich was the director of this film. We have Irving Berlin. If you guys are fans of like old movies, obviously White Christmas, him writing a lot of classic Christmas music. And this is the first time we get to see the song White Christmas in a movie before the film White Christmas, so that was pretty interesting. Essentially the setup of the film is we have Jim, played by Bing Crosby, and Ted, played by Fred Astaire. They're business partners. Jim has the idea to retire from the business, kind of have a low-key lifestyle, open up this inn, which is essentially going to be a nightclub that's open during the holidays. So he retires to go do that, and Ted goes on his way doing his show business thing. And eventually they meet back up in the film. And this is a film that's in black and white, with other Christmas films being Technicolor. This is black and white, so it definitely has that old vintage style feel to it. The camera work, the set design in this movie, the fashion, costume design was very, very cool. Depicting the, the early 1940s. All the guys are always in suits, always smoking cigarettes, always got the hat. So Ted and Jim both had this little romance with the main actress. Marjorie Reynolds plays Linda Mason, is kind of both the guys going back and forth. They're both in love with her, and it kind of gets in the middle of their friendship and their business partnership, and it's the love interest throughout the film. But the actress is actually pretty phenomenal in this film and convincing in this role. But there's a lot of great aspects of this film. Obviously, one being the music. This is a musical. Back then the whole film was derived around songs and people dancing around and things like that. Just feel good movies. So this movie has obviously a lot of great singing, musical aspects to it, a lot of great dancing. There's this really great scene with Fred Astaire dancing, and he's actually hammered drunk in the scene. He wanted to be in the character because in the movie he's supposed to be drunk, but he actually did get drunk. So it was cool to see him like flopping around and still pulling off these dance moves. And with Jim having Holiday Inn, they're open on the holidays, so they have a lot of sequences like George Washington, 4th of July. Each holiday they do this whole ensemble of them singing and dancing for the different holidays and the different backdrops. It's really cool. But there's one that's really, really controversial. Back in 1942, not so much, but if this was made today in 2018, it'd be very controversial. But they had Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and they did a whole sing-along, but they all have like blackface paint on their face, so looks like they're African American. So it's very awkward and not necessary, but I guess I can see it being 1942. Things were a little different back then. And that was one of the few parts of the film I did not actually like. But the rest of the film, I really enjoy. This is a great Christmas story. It shows about a great relationship between Fred Astaire, Bing Crosby, and this holiday inn that they create, and this nightclub that brings in a lot of people, a lot of happiness, a lot of drinks, a lot of dancing, a lot of singing. So it was a great story. I like how they put this all together. And again, with Irving Berlin's music in this film, it's definitely a holiday classic. And in a way, this is kind of like a prequel to White Christmas, even though Danny Kaye was in White Christmas. But the whole partnership between Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby is much like his partnership with Danny Kaye in White Christmas. So that was cool. But you can look at it in a way, it's kind of a similar setup, a similar story, but I think I enjoy White Christmas just a little more than Holiday Inn. Overall, I'm going to give Holiday Inn from 1942 a 4 out of 5 Santa Claus hair pieces. So what did you guys think of Holiday Inn from 1942? Have you seen it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out. My two mates here, Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby. Until the next review, cheers!